It's me, Mario! Hello!
Preston can't play.
Hey everybody, it's Preston again. We are in Big Boo's Haunt. We're trying to find the balcony. We're on the 5th star of Big Boo's Haunt, and this, we have to find Big Boo's balcony. I don't know how to do that, so I'm just kind of exploring. I feel like it must be something outside, because I'm not getting anywhere in here. On the last episode, I got a bit personal, talking about my birthday, which is this week, talking about turning 35 and where my life is going. I feel kind of silly sometimes because I love... I really like Game Grumps, and that's one of my, like, only, like, I don't know, it's the only, like, big, like famous YouTube, like, gamer, like, Let's Play channels that I follow. I've never even really tried any of the others, and I'm sure they're good. I wouldn't watch, any of the gross ones. Like, I'm not interested in, PewDiePie or JonTron, even though I know that he's helped start Game Grumps. But, you know, I'm just not in for, like, the racist stuff. You know, like, even if, I don't know, if it's, like, a character or whatever, like, I've heard, like, particularly in JonTron's case, that, like, he's just, like, doing bits and stuff. I'm not in for that. I'm not in for, like, being edgy. Like, and I know that, like, sometimes Game Grumps can say stuff that's kind of problematic, too, but, like, generally when they do, it's clear that they've kind of, like, misspoken, or they make it very clear that they're just doing it for, like, the comedy, like it's just a joke. Like, anytime that they say something that's, like, really gross, almost immediately they'll just be like, oh no, we're just kidding. Like, and it's whatever. Like, you know, I'm not gonna, like, comedy police people. I'm more in favor of, you know, ask for forgiveness, not permission, but, like, do ask for forgiveness if you acknowledge what you're saying is gross, if you're gonna say gross stuff, and, like, try to make it better, you know, don't just, like, put that stuff out into the world and just sit on it. How the hell do I get up there, man? Is there something? You know, I'm gonna have a look at the old walkthrough there and see what it says, because I don't want to waste my time. Okay, I think I got it from the walkthrough. Anyway, but so the way that I got started watching Game Grumps was my friend Fritz showed me the Steam Train episodes of Danny and Ross playing King's Quest V. And that's one of my beloved games from youth. And there it is, that's what I wanted. Okay. And I thought it was great, and I thought it was hilarious, and I loved Danny's nostalgia for the game. That really spoke to me. But can I do this one? There we go. Ugh, come on, man. But I especially loved it. I'll tell you the moment that I fell in love with it. One, when I realized that Danny was older than the rest of them. And he was, I think at the time he was my age now. He's like 3 or 4 years older than I am. I think he's turning 39 this year, or 40. And I remember, because I thought that was funny, and I related to how much Danny loved King's Quest V, So I kept watching it, and I remember watching the episode. I didn't go back and watch anything that they had already put out, but I kept watching it from that point. And I remember the episode where Danny talks about that he was able to quit his day job because of doing Game Grumps, and how much that meant to him, and what a huge victory that was in his life, and that allowed him more time to focus on doing Ninja Sex Party. And I love Danny's journey. I mean, I relate to it so much, his just like pursuit of doing his art and just trying to find his place in the world, and all the things that he's done and places that he's lived, you know, just to try and make that happen. I love that, and now how do I get up there, man? And so that's really the reason that I love Game Grumps so much, because I love Danny and like just everything that he brings in. I love his sensibility, and I relate to him so much, and you know, the fact that he has managed to find his place in the world at, you know, what some would say is an older age. I mean, he wasn't able to quit his day job and do something that he loved until he was, you know, in his mid-30s. And here I am in my mid-30s, and it's something that I've always struggled with, you know, my age. I'm not uncomfortable with how old I am, and I've never felt like old. And I talked about this on the show with Ton before, that I've always felt like I have a younger sort of sensibility than other people my age. I relate more to people who are younger than me. It's always been the case. I have a few friends that are older, but for the most part, I hang out with, I spend my time with people who are younger than I am. And it goes way back. I've had way more younger friends than I have older friends, even as a child, as a teenager. But when it comes to my career path, I've always felt behind. Even going as far, you know, when I was in high school and I was in a band and I thought I was doing okay, and then the other kids, like I said, there were other kids who had their like high school bands that everyone was into and supportive of, and there I was, and I was like, oh, I like missed that boat. And then like with acting, I tried to get into acting in my early 20s because I had taken some time off because I kind of had a poor experience with it in high school. I didn't fully invest in it. So there were people who were, you know, doing more in theater than I was, who were 5 years younger than I was, or so. And in your early mid 20s, that's a big deal. That's like, I felt way behind the curve, because I hadn't gone all in with it. And with music, once I started my first original band and I was in my mid 20s, and we were playing with people who were just out of high school, and it felt like, oh, we're a little bit older than some of the people that we're playing with. That's kind of weird. It made me feel kind of out of place. And then once I moved to LA and I got into a band, and it was like, again, we're playing with kids who were in high school, or in some cases, or college age, and had a lot of fans come out, and here we were, and I was pushing 30 at that point, and my drummer was also the same age, like pushing 30. And we were like, man, are we like... He used to say like, oh, this is my last shot. Like, this is it. Like, if I'm gonna be a full-time musician, like, this is, I'm almost 30. This is my last shot, realistically. I'm getting too old. And I don't necessarily believe that there's an age cap on being a successful musician. I think it's about knowing who you are. You know, like, you can't... There are certain styles that become inaccessible to you as an independent musician. It just doesn't make any sense. You know, like, because you have to think of who you're playing to and all this stuff. But if you're just staying true to yourself, there's no reason that you can't be a successful musician later in life. And that's what I love about Game Grumps and about Danny. You know, that he has been in this constant pursuit of what he is passionate about. And by being open to opportunities and never just giving up on what his real goal was, he's managed to get it. And now Ninja Sex Party is doing super well. And there's a part of me that's, I don't know, I mean, I recognize that, like, it's likely, I think if he had to choose, if there were ever a time where he had to choose between Ninja Sex Party and Game Grumps, I think that he would choose Ninja Sex Party, no question. And that kind of makes me a little bit bummed out, because then I was like, it affects, like, Game Grumps, and I enjoy him on Game Grumps. And I have to be honest, if he wasn't on Game Grumps, I probably wouldn't watch it. Not that Aaron isn't cool. Like, he's fine, and he does good stuff, but I'm there for Danny all the way. And I would continue to follow Ninja Sex Party. I just appreciate, and likewise with Brian, like, he's Ninja Brian is even older than Danny is, and, you know, just by being open to opportunities and never forgetting what you're passionate about, you know, they have come to a spot where they can do what they love to do. And I think that's beautiful. And it's inspirational to me, because I relate to the, you know, well, we're kind of getting older and we have to, like, think about what our life is and prioritizing our time a little bit. For sure, I definitely relate to that, but I think I have to go around the back for this one. But yeah, so that makes me feel good, because I never want to just throw in the towel on my passions. I love doing this show with Ton so much. Went full around the building and I didn't see the door. I love doing the show with Ton. Oh, no. It's this way. It's inside our room. And I love being in a band. And I talked about last time, my big revelation in the last episode was that it might be time to put a hold on doing theater. Because I have to be full in on theater. And I don't have the time or the resources to do that. There are people in this community who have a tremendous amount of training, and I can't compete with them, and I don't have a car, so I can't get to a lot of the opportunities that I otherwise might be interested in. And it just doesn't seem like the time is right. And also, there is to a small degree. Sorry, I stammered on that a little bit. There's a lot of people in the community here in Seattle, particularly, but I saw an interesting article that kind of pointed this out on a more national level, and I'm sure it has more to do with major cities, or cities in general, than, you know, your random kind of mom and pop theaters. There are increasingly more opportunities for people of color and LGBT folks in theater, and that's beautiful. It is about time, and They deserve that. The article that I read specifically was talking about, you know, the sort of the I guess you would say the pushback from whites or cisgendered or straight people, who are feeling like their opportunities are being reduced because we have to make room for other people. And that's a natural byproduct of having a community that's more inclusive, is that the people who were sort of at the crux of it before are kind of pushed to the side a little bit. And if you want a properly inclusive community, that has to be the way of it. I'm just checking the walkthrough again because I forgot where I asked it to go. I just want to sing a door. The room for fire, the shop door. For vanishing cap. Need the vanishing cap. Okay. Exit. All right, I need the vanishing cap to do this. So we're gonna take a little detour. How are we doing on time here? Oh, we're almost done. Let's see if we can get this real quick. So at first, I was never, let me get it straight. I was never bitter about, like, noticing that there was less work available to me because of who I am and how I identify, because of making room for people who heretofore have been marginalized and in many ways continue to be marginalized. So that's first and foremost. But I can be not bitter about that aspect of it, but also kind of bummed out that, oh, there's not really that much for me to do because people are focusing on people who need those opportunities. And, like, that's great for them, but it is kind of like, oh, okay, well, there's not really that much for me then. So that's fine. And it makes it even easier for me to kind of feel like, all right, well, maybe I just bow out, you know, like, I don't need to be here. Not in a bitter, like, fine, well, if you don't want me here, then I'll just go kind of a way, but in a real sense, like, you know, like, I'm a white, straight dude, you know, and right now in my community, the theater community is focusing and should be focusing on inclusivity. And so I've got other stuff that I can be doing. I don't need to crowd the talent pool. You know, I'm not greedy, and I'm not trying to take any kind of, like, a moral high ground or anything. I'm just being realistic. Like, I'm not gonna... that makes it even more competitive, and for me, a person who doesn't have nearly as much training as a lot of other people that are in a similar, you know, that are like me, that are straight and or white and or cis male, any of that stuff. I can't compete with that. And I don't want to be half in, so music it is, for now. And I would love to get back to theater, but I think my stage, any kind of stage career aspiration that I might have is only going to be improved later on by actually being invested in. And me just, like, showing up places and hoping for the best isn't really gonna do much when I have so many other people to compete with who are just better than I am. I'm sorry. I have a lot of confidence in my ability, but there's just something that good old-fashioned training, you know, helps with. For one, I'm not very strong in auditions. I have a lot of confidence in my ability to act, but it's different than people who are formally trained. And it's a hard sell, you know? So combine that with the fact that, like, this is just not a community that needs more of me right now. Which is not to say that music shouldn't have me, and nor is it to say that, you know, straight white dudes no longer have a place in the arts community. They absolutely do. But if I'm gonna do it, I need to be doing it right, and I can't do it right now. So that's that. But I'm kind of excited because it's also just going to benefit my music career. I mean, the more I focus on acting, I mean, think about this. I feel like my band was slowed down a little bit. We had a pretty good amount of momentum going. And then I did Heather's, and it slowed us down a lot this time of year. And so now I feel like we're a little bit behind on where we could have been. And being able to just focus on that, I mean, being in a play, it's a huge commitment most of the time, and that might take me out of being in the band for several months. And that's not great for the guys that I'm playing with. I owe them the respect of being an active participant in our music. So that's only gonna be better off with me. Fuck! Oh, get up! With me taking that break from theater. Shit! God fucking Christ damn it. So, but I don't know, I feel like a goon every time, like, I talk about how I only like Game Grumps and stuff. It makes me feel like a filthy casual. I don't know the deep cuts of the internet. Like, I don't know. And I guess it probably shows in this Let's Play because it's kind of derivative of Game Grumps, but I don't know, it's like, I don't necessarily think that being derivative of something that you love is a bad thing, you know? Like, Game Grumps is something that means something to me. That has value in my life. It's, you know, watching Game Grumps and, like, you know, what I talked a lot about why I love Danny so much and how strongly I relate to Danny, but, like, the way that Aaron, that Ecoraptor, has built this, you know, little family, you know, that he's assembled the Game Grumps community, and now they're doing all kinds of other stuff, and it's like a brand. It's not just an internet show. It's, you know, they have a game that they've developed now, and Game Grumps is the support system that in a lot of ways has made Ninja Sex Party successful, because there's so much of an investment there. Why? Because Aaron loves to support other artists. No! Alright, well, that's gonna do it. Aaron loves to support other artists, and you know, his good friend Dan has benefited from that, and Dan's not shy about that. I mean, he's said that numerous times. I'm just gonna fucking go for it. I don't care about the red coins. that's something that I respect, because I have always had a dream of, you know, building a community like that and being able to support my friends and you know, anything that involves like being a figure in the community that you love is something that speaks to me a great deal. Yes, finally. So I appreciate that about Game Grumps as well. You know, there's just a lot about Game Grumps that really speaks to me. Did I just fucking sack that? Do I still have... Alright. I'm gonna jump in here and see if I still get to keep that. Do I have to get the 8 red coins? Is that the gimmick? Did I keep the... Let's see if I still get the blue thing there. I do, okay. Oh, I've got a fucking shit ton of lives all of a sudden. Alright, I got the blue switch, that's all I wanted. Let's go and see if we can one-shot this last star. And I'll be totally caught up. This one's going a bit long. But, yeah, I don't know, I feel like such a goon, because Game Grumps almost seems like this, like, passe thing for fucking casuals that... I don't really, I don't know, it's like... It might be, and I know they're not, like... I don't know, it's just a silly thing. This is not where I need to be. Wait. Big Boo is hot, that's what I want. I don't know. Not that I need to defend it, but I do feel like it's worth explaining that I don't just love Game Grumps because they were the first Let's Play that I was presented with, and I just stuck with it. I genuinely have like an emotional connection to what they're doing, and that's real. Alright, so there's the block that has the thing that I want. Here's how I get it. What do I do with it now? I think I have to go up to that blue room. Let's see here. Nope. Is it here? No. Alright, I need to figure out what room I'm supposed to go into first. That was the piano room. I think it's this one. I think I have to go through that blue painting. Alright, let's give it a try. Or it's the one in the attic. Well, let's try this one first. No. It is the one in the attic. Okay. That makes sense. Now that I know that there's another blue cap in that room. Alright, so I have to come back in here and jump up there, go into the attic. Okay, we doing good. Excuse me, we're doing well. Alright. Look up. Sweet. Alright, so now I just have to fuck this eyes up. Ugh, get out of here, ghost. You're making my life worse. Oop. Alright, I got you. I got you. I got you, babe. Alright, that's a long one. Hey, this was kind of an emotional dump series of episodes, but you know, it's nice. Sometimes I feel like I want to make the show a little bit more personal rather than just us like making fun of each other, or doing comedy bits, or talking about the game that we're playing. When I watch Game Grumps, I really appreciate when they make things personal, when they talk about their personal lives, or when they talk about dealing with depression or imposter syndrome or anything like that. Like, so this is my attempt at just being kind of real and candid. And I hope that it doesn't fall on deaf ears. I hope that it wasn't a waste of time. I hope that you didn't hate it. And I hope that you keep watching. And I love you very much. We will see you the next time around.
Preston can play. Continue.